When children grow up, it is a joy to see them. But when they leave home, it is another painful goodbye. This is the show, Painful Goodbyes. I am Skombozo Dube, and in the show, I have the Mandikatis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. People would love to know who I am talking to. You can introduce yourselves kindly.
Well, I'm Jawet Mandikati. I was born in a pastor's family before I met Eta way back in 1967 at Loagwelo.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. A long time ago. Yes.
And I'm Etta, same surname of this partner of 53 years. We met at Loagwelo as young people and got married in 1969.
Now, growing up, you met at Loagwelo, and I thought that was a beautiful experience. I think before that, you must have had an experience, a desire to build a family. What was the dream that you had concerning building a family?
Particularly my dream. I'm also born of a pastor's family.
Oh.
My dream was only revealed to me when my mother suggested that I take nursing.
Okay.
Most of my siblings had taken teaching, and my mother wasn't amused that we all become teachers. So she spoke to me, and my thought was, I might get married, I might have children, and I wouldn't want to be on night shift with my baby remaining with a baby minder. So I told my mother, I might have a family in life. And to be told after work that the baby wasn't well during the day, I take a bath, I go to work at night, and I come back in the morning. How was the baby? I didn't like that. So my family mind came those years when my mother wanted me to take nursing as a course.
As a course. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful.
In those years, it was the ultimate goal of every young man, and perhaps even young woman, to get married and usually get married in church and have a family. It was normal, it was culturally expected, and so I didn't even have to think about it. It was almost the ultimate that had to happen.
Okay. So now looking at that, I don't know how your dreams were fulfilled. Maybe you can share that with us in terms of sharing how your family is like now.
Well, we have, as she indicated, we got married in 1969. Our marriage ceremony was at Loagwelo Mission. Excuse me. At that time, my father-in-law was pastor in Wange, and my father was president of the Mashonaland mission field. He was stationed at Nyazura. And we got married, and I then moved. I was teaching in Kadoma. I moved to join my wife at Loagwelo because that's where she was stationed. And we began to have a family. Our first child was born, a daughter, was born in 1971.
Okay.
We had a second one in 1973, and a third one, a boy, in 1975.
Okay.
So we have 3 children.
Very interesting indeed. that he can remember the dates and the years, but maybe the dates are this side.
He's got them as well. One of them will be celebrating on the 26th.
Okay.
Just after tomorrow.
Okay.
That's the second born. Otherwise, the third born celebrated on the 9th. Did he?
Yes. Nice.
You see, he remembers.
He remembers the dates.
And then the first one. When was her birthday? The 10th of February.
It seems you have to be confirming from that side, but I understand.
So that you can see he knows.
He knows the date.
Yes.
It's a very, very interesting thing that fathers know the birthdays, and that's a very rare thing. But I just want to applaud you for that. Is there any additional information that you'd love to share about your family that you feel that this is very important about our family that we can share, maybe concerning these children?
Well, one of the reasons why we decided that we're going to be at a mission station was in order to raise our children in an environment that is quiet and where we could raise them the way we want them to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we had to leave during the war to come to Bulawayo, where we had a house in Gwabalanda. And we got a shock because even our children found it extremely odd. Yeah, eventually, when it was possible, we purchased a place in Richmond, mainly because of the sizes of the stands, where we were not crowded, and so that our children would be able to run around and grow in an environment that we thought was good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that bit of information. I'm not sure how your aspect of growing in a pastoral family impacted your raising of the family. Both of you come from that kind of environment. So what contribution did that have in your raising of the family?
I could say our family, his as well, I suppose. Father was never there.
Okay.
It was those years when Father attended church elsewhere every Sabbath except the one in the quarter, where he would come and present the communion service. So he was holding communion services everywhere. So we were raised by our mother mainly, but it was a home of worship, serious worship. We sang, we read the Bible, we memorized, we prayed. There were times which were very difficult, and we depended on prayer. That's how we brought up. And there were times, even with our children, when we would have to depend on prayer. Things would be difficult. Illnesses would come, and we would have to call on the Lord. They learned. Fortunately, it was the two of us, but the first few years, worship time was mainly, I did it with them because it was their level. We wouldn't pray together. Then we would have our own prayers, but prayer, it was just they with me, following the Bible stories and praying just as the tiny tots with Mom.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Please stay tuned. After the break, we'll hear more of this story.
It's painful to say goodbye.
It's hard to say I miss you.
The time of joy
Is a gruesome cross.
I need you now, beloved.
to the show, Painful Goodbyes. I'm with the Mandikatis, and we are talking about when children are leaving home. And this is the show, Painful Goodbyes. Earlier on, before the break, you spoke about your lovely family, and I'm thinking about that time when each one of them started to leave home. Share that bit of the journey in your married life when each one left. How was it like?
Well, our first child finished training as a teacher at Hillside Teachers College and was posted to a rural school, Madlelenyoni, which is in Ndabazinduna area. I drove her there, and it was very difficult to imagine that she was now going to have to look after herself, because we were a very closely knit family, and we worried a lot about her safety out there. But she survived.
She survived, yeah.
And we eventually learned to live with that. She would come during the weekends sometimes, and it was a happy reunion whenever she came.
Whenever she came.
Later on, she got married and had to leave us. That was much more painful.
Much more painful.
So painful that I broke down. And the whole family, I mean, that was Diana, the firstborn is Diana. When she got married, I broke down. Mary and the secondborn did break down as well. Even Alan, our son, broke down. It wasn't easy. People tried to comfort, but it was as if things which would never happen had happened in the home. So she left. That was 1996. 1997, Mary Ann got married. So, there. Also, she had trained as a teacher, but had fortunately worked here in town. It was no longer as heavy as it had been when Dana got married. Then, our son, he was to get married. And just like the girls had done, packed his bag on that particular morning. He had been with us all the time. Packed his bag and left it in his bedroom. In the evening, after the wedding, he came, dragged his suitcase and left us. That was it. It was really painful. Couldn't be imagined. You know, some people didn't even know what it meant to have a son get married. Maybe they knew. They said, oh no, the daughter-in-law should at least be home to learn the customs of your home. I said the custom is in the Bible. She doesn't have to learn anything in the Mandikati home, which is different from the Gabi family. So they were gone.
No, I imagine the first daughter leaving, and you were handing her over to this man that you didn't know. I don't know, what feelings did you have? I know you broke down, I mean, but what was running in your mind as that ceremony was going on?
It was, is she safe? Is she going to be loved and cared for? That kind of thing ran through our minds. But fortunately, all of them were married in church, so at least we knew that the culture in their homes would probably be an extension of ours. And therefore, we didn't have to worry too much about that scheme of things. But all the same, it's a stranger It's not somebody you raised and somebody you know. And so it was quite a bit of a strain. But we comforted ourselves that in any case, these children came to join the two of us. So
Yes.
the two of us, we're still together. So and they are not going away forever. We'll be able to see them.
Now, someone looking from the other side who is not in your shoes, and who was not in your shoes because this is in the past, finds you crying and saying, "But this is a beautiful thing that is happening. This child is getting married." How would you explain that kind of a thing to that individual so that they can understand the impact of the parting? Although it's a bittersweet experience, how would you explain that?
It wasn't at church that we broke down. It was at home now when she took her suitcase and was leaving. It was something which had never happened. I mean, she had been teaching out in the country, but she was ours. Now everything seemed changed. She was going to another family. We knew the family name. I had been to school, but there she was now going to belong to that family. No longer ours. That was the bitter part. But anyway, not for long. We were comforted.
Yes. So sometimes people interpret other people's realities differently. This is why I threw this question to you. Someone may say, "So what's the point? Why are they crying? Because this is something that is good that's happening."
Yeah.
But now I think that chord that you had was the one that really brought you to that place.
You see, like he said, we were a well-knit family. We never had a child who was brought up elsewhere, even for a week. We had our children all the time,
All the way through.
which was holiday time. They are not at school. I am there, though he worked during the holidays on promotion. Afternoons, we dismissed from work. I'm doing my marking and I'm there. So I was there with the children all the time. And this now parting, it just sort of separated the whole thing, made it difficult.
Now, I'm looking at this situation. Let's try to look at it from the other side. What was fascinating in them leaving, maybe as each one left?
To me, it was a sign of growth and maturity. To think that, these little ones are now able to take care of themselves, build their own homes. That part of it was exciting.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. And do you have anything on that you found fascinating?
No, that we actually felt the Lord had guided so much, because a lot was happening to young people. They would either be pregnant at home. Some of them didn't even follow the teachings of the gospel. And meanwhile, we had this mind, the legacy passed on to us by our parents, which we had passed on to our children, and they were holding on to it. It made us feel wherever they were going, they were guarded, and the Lord was with them. It was all planned by the Lord. Whatever was happening to the family, the upbringing, the many things which might have happened, the Lord was watching over, and we praised the Lord. It was that pleasing thought that they were in the faith.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, how beautiful was it to break that cord. Although it was painful, it was a bittersweet experience to see them living in this way. Just stay tuned. We will meet after the break.
It's painful to say goodbye.
It's hard to say I miss you.
The time of joy
Is a blue
welcome back to the third and final segment of the show, Painful Goodbyes. I'm with the Mandikatis, and we are discussing when children are leaving home. This is what happens when the nest is empty. I'm wondering, sometimes it may be difficult, like you've highlighted in the previous segments. You highlighted that it is very difficult. Why is it so difficult to break that cord when children are leaving one by one? What makes it very difficult?
I suppose the connection that is built over the years, especially when a baby is born, how vulnerable a baby is, and to see them grow, the attachment is such that it's difficult to say goodbye. Even if you know that they will still be able to come home and visit and so on. But to say goodbye is still a painful experience.
Yeah. So you have narrated that about the emptiness situation, and I'm wondering what support system that you've built over time, because I'm seeing that situation when the son picked the bag and he was gone and just the two of you staring at each other. Now, what support system did really help you to then cope with this abrupt change?
We are a funny lot. Like our background is just similar. How our parents treated our mothers and fathers, how they treated each other. You know, my parents played a lot. His parents, when I got married, played a lot.
Okay.
That's what kept us. We had fun. We just forgot all about it having been a nest which is empty, and we had a lot of fun. We were still energetic. We could run. We could sometimes even end up hurting each other, but but we were full of energy, and that was it. We played a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Just one game that you can share that you played.
Teasing. Just
Okay.
teasing.
And they're running around the table and something like that. Yeah, I think when a couple is close, they can still have fun even when the children are gone.
Okay.
Now we are in our late 70s, moving towards the 80. But we still find it quite entertaining to be together and to think of the things that our children used to say. We raise these issues, some of the funny things our children used to do, and we review these, and we find ourselves laughing and enjoying ourselves. And we sometimes, in the city, this is funny. We sit in the car and watch people walk past, and we begin to say, so this one comes from a family. So the family is waiting for this one. This one. Look at this one. Look at that. These are sort of things that we do. Yeah, we joke quite a lot, and there's nothing serious amongst us, between us. So this is what has kept us going.
Oh, beautiful.
And well, with this technology, the group chat for the family, we communicate. And our children so interested in the whole issue. Once a year, they call us. They are all in South Africa. So we take a holiday and are with the family for the Christmas period, 2 weeks at Christmas time. Every year that happens. So it keeps us together.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. It is interesting that you have actually built a support system, an internal support system. You don't need somebody from outside to be really supporting you. I'm wondering what words you can share with others that are going through a similar experience.
Also, I would say the church family has also come in quite handy.
Okay.
Whatever congregation we have been to, we have become very close to that congregation. And we find solace in the fellowship that we enjoy with other brethren in church. And I would encourage people to find happiness and fellowship with other brethren, as well as between themselves. If God preserves our lives, money allowing, we would want to go on holidays and so on, just the two of us. And that, I'm sure, will keep us going. And to me, that is an advice I would give to others.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
And I would say, it doesn't matter the age. Like he says, towards our 80s, we are still workers in the church. We are given duties at church, and we cannot dispute, we cannot refuse, we cannot say there are younger people who should do that. We take the church duties, and that keeps us very busy. I support him in his duties, and he supports me in my duties. So it takes our time, and we are happy about that.
Thank you very much for sharing your story. There you have it, friends. The nest can be empty, but the joy can still be there. Please stay tuned for the other episodes. For me, Skombuzo Dube and the Mandikatis and the crew behind the scenes, it's a wrap.
It's painful to say goodbye.
It's hard to say